everybody, welcome back to Serenity Art Space. My name is Lou, and today we're going to be discussing some of the progress on the Baroque Renaissance cat painting. Last time you saw this, all we did was we sketched in our character, and then we painted in our background using acrylics first and then some oils, creating our value, darker on one side, on the left side of the painting in the background, lighter on the right side, sketched in our character and all the major features there. In this episode, I'm going to show you my process of going through the next phase of the painting and starting to bring up some of the saturation in the background and building up the character a bit more. So let's jump right in and get down to art nerd stuff. Alright, so the first thing I did was I made almost a glaze with some alizarin crimson, mixing in some paint thinner to get a nice thin viscosity to my paint, but still thick enough to where it's going to saturate some color on there. And I went over the entire background with it, not really using any other colors to darken or lighten anything, really just reinforcing that whole red in the background. It's definitely starting to have a nice rich kind of color to it now. And then from there I did take some black and started working on the dress. I wanted to build up all the major shapes in the body. So the arms, the waist, the hips. The dress has kind of puffs out around the hips, as was the fashion back then. So I started working on that, creating some highlights, working in some of the wrinkles into the dress and the folds. And then the center part of the dress is there's like a white panel that runs down the front center of it. So I wanted to build some of the shadows on that, some of the wrinkles and things in that as well. Now the entire dress and that front panel are going to get details into them. My plan is to take a thin liner and kind of create almost an embroidery kind of feel to it, a lacy pattern. I'm not exactly sure what just yet, but you'll see as we go through this video that I start adding things that weren't necessarily in the sketch, and that's one of the main reasons why I like the way I paint is I'm not so stuck on a reference photo or stuck on a finished drawing that has every detail in it. Some of the stuff comes to me as I'm painting, and as I'm working I think, oh, that would be cool if this was in there, and I leave myself room to add that in there. And you'll see that as we go throughout this whole video. So from the dress, I move up to the big neck collar thing. It's actually called a ruff. Sometimes it's called a millstone collar, but it's from the kind of the Renaissance period. Very big fashion item. I didn't really know that before I started this painting, but I did do some research, knowing what I was going after for my style of painting. So I did some research, saw that popping up quite a bit, understood that, you know, it was part of the fashion then. So that's definitely a fun part. I've never really done a painting. I've done tattoos that have that kind of collar on it. It's usually like a clown or something like that that's got those collars. So anyway, building up all the ripples and the ruffles and that. And again, keeping it basic. You know, we don't have to get super detailed right now. We want to build up our shapes, kind of like building a house. You start with the foundation and then a frame, then you start wrapping it up, and you do the finished work last. So we're just kind of building our house right now. Not sure if this collar is going to get lace done on it. I think on the very ends of it I might do some lace or maybe some little beads or something to give it some detail. And then as I work through this, I want to build up all the major parts to the next level. So the crown is another piece that needs to get built up. I need to start figuring out how it's going to be detailed, if it's going to be just the spikes going up with balls on the end, or if there's going to be, you know, gilding and stuff on the inside, which it is going to have that. The cuffs on the dress, those are also going to have kind of lace and little spikes kind of coming off of it. Spines, not spikes, it's not a goth thing or anything. And then in the top of the collar, the cat's name is Beatrice, so I sketched in the letter B in there to signify Queen Beatrice. Another thing that I added was kind of a high collar coming up behind her head. I had kind of like the evil queen in my mind, and she always has like this big high collar, so I put that in there. and then I wanted to add kind of a lace backing to that as well. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out, but again, I'm just adding things as I go along and having fun with it and not being too constrained with reference photos. Reference photos definitely have their value. As you can tell by the stack of books behind me, I do use them, but I don't paint directly from them. I use them more for structure and sometimes for lighting and clouds and things like that. So after that, I go, once I get my dress and all the details kind of sketched in there, then I start laying in the cat face. What you won't see in this sped up video, because the lighting was so terrible on it, I didn't realize it until I was editing. You couldn't really see you could see the painting, but it was so glared out in the face that you couldn't actually see. But I sketched in the bridge of the nose, the basic part of the front of the face, of the eyes, and then some of the details of the coloration of the cat. So she's got these little white streaks above her eyes, and under her eye and everything. And then from there I took some paint, mixed up some gray, then started laying in some values for all that and building up the structure of the face. So that when I go into final color, all that hard work is already done, and now I'm just layering over that and adding in details and whiskers and things like that. So got the cat face kind of sketched in there. And then the paws, or another part. Beatrice is a Hemingway cat, which she is a polydactyl cat. She's got two extra toes, so she's got 6 toes on her front paws. With her, she got kind of the 4 main ones, and then on the side one, I guess, would be the thumb. There's 2 there. So I've got those roughly sketched in there. I want to accent those a bit more when I get into my final painting. But really, I was just kind of building this one up a bit to get it to somewhere where it's ready for me to really focus on an area and start really detailing it. So I'm really happy with how it's come out. I'm happy with the dimension of it, the contrast, and the values that I have going on right now. And then finally, after doing the paws, I also built up the cat toy a bit more, the cat toy scepter. And that I'm keeping really basic. I don't want that to be highly detailed. It's an added feature to it, but I want the cat's face and the upper part and the crown and everything. That's going to be our main focus. So that's what I'm going to keep really highly detailed. And then the scepter and the cat toy, those can not be quite as detailed. So hopefully you enjoyed watching the progress on this painting, and I'm having great fun working on it. I hope to work on it some more in the next couple of days. Still no word on when I can get back to work, so I guess I'm going to be home painting some more, which that's definitely not a complaint. Having a great time doing this. So if there's anything you want to see, definitely let me know in the comments, because I've got the time to do it right now. So if there's something specific you want done, I could probably get it up here and post it pretty quickly for you. Please remember to hit the like button if you like these videos. I've been kind of keeping an eye on what's going on with if anyone's watching or liking. I haven't really seen a lot of likes, but I also haven't seen any thumbs down either. So I don't know what's going on, if people are watching. If you are, hit that like button, let me know you're there, or drop a quick comment in there, just let me know that you're there, and that'll probably motivate me to get some more videos up here a lot faster for you. As always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do a little dance, make some paintings, and I'll see you next time, probably on Thursday.